welcome you to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of incredible information, cut through the noise, and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you become well-informed quickly and thoroughly. Today, we're embarking on a particularly fascinating deep dive. It's based on a powerful presentation by Gabriel Bastien titled Waters, Rebellions, and the Lady Prophet. Our sources for this journey draw insights from Parshat, Chukat, that's the weekly Torah portion in Numbers 19 through 22, and also a really compelling narrative from the Haftorah, which is Judges 11.
And our mission today really is to uncover the surprising connections and, well, the profound lessons hidden within these ancient texts. Gabriel's unique insights, they really challenge us to look beyond the surface.
Yeah, beyond the familiar stories.
Exactly. Finding modern resonance in these timeless messages about, purpose, overcoming challenges, and what it truly means to live a life worthy of sacrifice.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because Gabriel, he actually begins his presentation with something really moving. A dedication that sets this powerful, almost sacred tone for the whole thing.
It really does.
He opens with his dedication to a young man named Omer van Gelder. Omer was only 22 years old, and he left behind this powerful note on his phone. His family published it later.
Yeah.
And it's just raw, deeply personal. It makes you pause.
It absolutely does. And the core message Omer wrote, it's incredibly potent, heartbreakingly beautiful, really. He wrote, "If we constantly reflect on the situation we're in and on the losses we've endured, we will be overwhelmed by emotion."
It's understandable.
Right. He acknowledges that immense grief, but then he pivots. With remarkable clarity, he adds, but on the other hand, there is a tremendous sense of purpose.
Wow.
This duality, grief and purpose living side by side, it's striking, and it's really foundational to Gabriel's whole perspective here.
So how do you hold both?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? How do we navigate suffering without losing sight of why we keep going?
And what Gabriel brings out next from Omer's words, it's really impactful. Omer's profound thought, it's almost like a personal manifesto. He said, our lives were paid for at an unimaginable cost, so they must be worth more. Just living is not enough. Our lives must be worthy of the sacrifice.
That phrase, worthy of sacrifice, Gabriel positions this as the cornerstone of his presentation.
It's a heavy concept.
It is, and he argues it's not just about existing. It's an active thing, an imperative to strive relentlessly to become the best version of ourselves and to do meaningful, great things.
Right.
The implication, Gabriel underscores, is that if we waste our lives, if we don't reach our potential, we're sort of disrespecting those who gave everything.
That's a powerful way to frame it. Not about guilt, but honoring.
Exactly. It's about honoring the investment. And it raises a critical question for us, How do we apply this deep sense of purpose to our own lives? And how do these ancient narratives we're about to explore, how do they guide us in that?
That's a great bridge. Because this call to live a life worthy of sacrifice, it's not just modern, is it? Gabriel shows how these questions echo through the ancient texts. He guides us into Parshat Chukat next.
Right, from the book of Numbers.
Yeah. And this section, it covers a lot. Laws of purification, Moses striking the rock, Aaron's death, victories. But for this deep dive, Gabriel really zeroes in on one key figure, Miriam.
And he draws this fascinating linguistic connection with Miriam. It really deepens our understanding of her character. He points out her Hebrew name, Miriam, shares a root with marim, which means bitter.
Bitter. Okay.
Yeah. And Gabriel suggests we think about the bitter times of oppression back when Moses was adopted, the Nile, metaphorically embittered by the blood of innocent Hebrew children.
So her name itself carries that echo.
That's the idea Gabriel presents. It connects her intrinsically to the suffering and struggle of her people. Like her name isn't just a label, it's a summary of experience.
That really resonates. And that insight, the name echoing bitterness, it connects beautifully to a question Gabriel then asks, wasn't it Miriam as a young girl who first showed this amazing defiance?
You mean against Pharaoh?
Exactly. Rebelling against the orders of Pharaoh to help save Moses. She didn't just stand by, she acted against the most powerful ruler. That was bold, a righteous rebellion.
Precisely. And Gabriel uses this to encourage us to think, is there a deeper pattern in the life of Miriam regarding the right and the wrong kinds of rebellion?
So not all rebellion is the same.
Right, that's crucial. He references Numbers 12, where Miriam and Aaron speak against Moses.
Okay, I remember that. It didn't end well for her then.
No, it led to consequences. So it serves as a counterpoint. When is defiance righteous, like against Pharaoh's injustice? And when is it, well, problematic, disrupting legitimate authority, maybe.
So the difference lies in who you're defying and why.
That seems to be what Gabriel is suggesting. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? And these texts make us consider that even today. When do we speak up? When do we yield?
That's a timeless question. Okay, so our deep dive then shifts focus. We move from Miriam to the Haftorah, the reading from Judges 11.
Yeah, and this introduces us to Jephthah.
Right, Jephthah. He emerges during this intense conflict, Israel facing invasion from the Ammonites. He's tasked with defending them, but diplomacy fails completely. And then he makes this highly controversial vow.
Yes, and this is where Gabriel really pushes us to think critically. He doesn't just present the vow, he asks these really pointed questions about Jephthah's motive.
Like what?
Like, did the God of Israel require such a vow to defend his people? And, maybe more importantly, why did Jephthah go to such a drastic length to solicit his God's assistance?
Good questions. Was it desperation? A misunderstanding of God?
Exactly. These aren't just rhetorical. They're meant to make us reflect on Jephthah's, well, his spiritual state, his desperation, maybe a flawed view of divine will.
And this leads into looking at Jephthah's character more closely, right? Gabriel asks if there are hints about why Jephthah's tragically flawed in this way.
Yes. He suggests Jephthah's past, being an outcast rejected by his family. Maybe that fostered this deep insecurity.
A need to prove himself.
Perhaps. And maybe that insecurity led him to think he needed this extraordinary, almost desperate bargain for God's favor instead of just trusting.
That's a very human story, isn't it? Even set way back then. Leaders under pressure, personal weaknesses having huge consequences.
Absolutely. And connecting this to the bigger picture, Gabriel wants us to see the tragic flaws in both Moses striking the rock instead of speaking to it.
Right, a moment of impatience or anger.
Yes. And Jephthah with his terrible vow. Gabriel reminds us these figures, they were not isolated from the pressures around them. They were human. Fallible, susceptible to fear, impatience, insecurities. It encourages critical thinking about leadership, doesn't it? Acknowledging flaws even in revered figures.
It does. It's almost comforting in a strange way that even these giants wrestled with their humanity.
It reminds us perfection isn't the expectation. Maybe understanding our own flaws is more important.
And yet, amidst these struggles and flaws, there's also this powerful message of, well, triumph in the Parshat itself, right?
Yes. Gabriel points this out very clearly, a critical achievement of the next generation of Israel rising.
This is the redemption part.
Exactly. The very place where Israel was defeated after the spies incident in Numbers 14.
Oh, that disaster.
Right. That same place, a generation later, they succeed against the king of Aaron. It's more than just winning a battle. It's a symbol. Overcoming past failure, generational growth.
Persistent divine favor, despite the human mess-ups.
That's a good way to put it. It's a narrative arc from failure to success to redemption.
Which brings up another deep question Gabriel poses for us, doesn't it?
Yes. Can we learn from these stories about obeying heavenly authority while also, discerningly, disobeying illegitimate earthly authority?
That's the tightrope walk.
It really is. It's a constant challenge. Miriam versus Pharaoh shows righteous defiance. Jephthah maybe shows a flawed grasp of divine will. How do we know the difference?
What guides that discernment?
What are the true sources of authority we should prioritize? And how do we ensure our own rebellion, when necessary, is for good, aligned with purpose, not just personal flaw or anger?
Still profoundly relevant today.
Absolutely.
So, bringing this all together, what does this mean for you, our listener, navigating your own world today?
Well, this deep dive, drawing so much from Gabriel's insights, it offers a really compelling framework, not just for looking at these ancient stories, but for examining our own lives. We've explored the weight of sacrifice, the nuances of rebellion through Miriam, the consequences of flaws in Jephthah and Moses. The connection between then and now is really striking.
And that idea that just living is not enough.
Yeah.
That our lives must be worthy of the sacrifice. It's a powerful call to action, almost unsettling.
It is. It ties right into striving every day to be the best we can be, doesn't it? To make our lives count.
Living with intention, with purpose, not just drifting.
Asking ourselves, what is the meaning of this life we've been given? Ultimately, Gabriel's presentation, it invites us to see how these ancient stories still echo with vital lessons. They challenged us to reflect on our actions, our view of authority, divine and human, and our commitment to living purposefully.
Honoring the past, building a meaningful future.
Precisely.
So as you go about your day, maybe something to ponder. In what areas of your life can you genuinely strive to be your best version? in a way that truly honors the sacrifices, big or small, seen and unseen, that brought you here.
What's one small step you could take today?
Towards living that life more worthy of sacrifice. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep becoming the most informed version of yourself.
To learn more about Enoam, go to enoam.org.